Welcome back to yet another discussion on some of the most important history topics that could find their way to your 2024 prelims examination. This video discusses a news article related to the first set of Europeans who colonized India. Yes, you guessed it right. We are going to discuss the Portuguese, about whom we can expect a question this year. Here we go with the headlines. Cashew farmer chances on rare find. 832 copper coins from Portuguese era in Goa. Unbeknownst to Joshi, he had stumbled on a treasure from centuries ago. 832 copper coins believed to have been minted in Goa around the 16th or 17th century when it was under the Portuguese rule. So I shall take this moment to explain this miraculous finding. So here we find the context of the news. So cashew farmer in a place called Nanoda. Okay, Nanoda is a village in Goa. He discovers 832 copper coins from the Portuguese era. So these coins are believed to have been minted in the 16th or 17th century during the Portuguese rule in Goa. So the discovery is considered a treasure and is linked to the history of Goa and its people. So these coins were basically found on the gut pathway connecting British rule India and the Portuguese dominated Goa. So the archaeologists will conduct carbon dating now to determine the exact age of the coins and their historical context. So these coins may provide insights into Goa's numismatic history, trade relations, and commerce during the Portuguese rule. So after the study, the coins are likely to be displayed at the Goa State Museum in Panjim. Okay, so the Goa State Museum already has displayed some ancient Roman coins as well. So these coin collectors and numismatists may find the Goa State Museum and Rizwan Razak's Museum of India paper money in Bengaluru interesting. Okay, so you can basically, if you're interested in coin numismatics and coin collection, you can basically go to the Goa State Museum or Rizwan Razak's Museum of Indian paper money in Bengaluru. So this is the museum. Okay, Rizwan Razak's Museum of Indian paper money, which is in Bengaluru. Okay, so this is the backdrop of this particular news. So I think it will be prudent for me now to explain the exploits of the Portuguese in Goa. So if you see, certain things you have to keep in mind. In the year 1510, Portuguese governor Alfonso de Albuquerque, he was known as the Lion of the Seas. Okay, Alfonso de Albuquerque was known as the Lion of the Seas. So he led a military expedition to capture Goa, from whom at that point of time Goa was being ruled by the Sultanate of Bijapur. So this marked the beginning of Portuguese rule in Goa, and they sought to establish their presence in the region. Then you have to remember about the year 1530. In the year 1530, the Portuguese established a viceroyalty in Goa. The viceroyalty served as the governing body overseeing Portuguese possessions not just in Goa but also in India, Africa, and Southeast Asia. Okay, so it centralized their control and administration over these territories. Okay, in 1530, the capital of the Portuguese in India was shifted from Kochi to Goa. Okay, so from Goa, they had controlled all the above mentioned places. So till today, Goa remained, or till 1961, Goa remained the capital of the Portuguese India. So for over 400 years, Goa served as a center of Portuguese colonial power in India. In fact, they were the first set of Europeans to come into India and they were the last to leave India. So it Goa basically held significant administrative and strategic importance for the Portuguese Empire in the region. So if you see, under Portuguese rule, Goa witnessed the introduction of various crops and technologies. The Portuguese brought crops like potatoes, tomatoes, and chilies to Goa, which later became an integral part of Indian cuisine. Okay, remember, Portuguese brought crops like potatoes, tomatoes, and chilies. They also introduced new agricultural practices and technological advancements, and they contributed to the development and modernization of Goa's agricultural sector. Okay, so that's the significance of the Portuguese. Okay, so moving forward, we're now going to look at some of the other key points to remember about the Portuguese. Okay, So first is in the year 1503, the Portuguese basically established their first European colonial settlement on Indian soil. Where did they establish? They established it in Kochi, which is in modern day Kerala. And then you have to concentrate, while you're preparing about the Portuguese, you have to concentrate on the battles that they fought. Okay, in the year 1508, they fought a very important battle, that was the Battle of Chaul. So in this Battle of Chaul, they were defeated by an alliance of the Sultan of Turkey, Sultan of Egypt, and the ruler of Gujarat. At that point of time, the ruler of Gujarat was Mahmud Begara. Okay, Mahmud Begara. Then another important point that you have to remember about the Portuguese is the Cartez system. So this Cartez system was a system of pass by which the Portuguese forced all ships to budge to their supremacy. You know what happened? The Portuguese forced all ships to buy this Cartez pass when they were passing through their area of control in the Arabian Sea. If they didn't get the pass, the ships were attacked and goods were confiscated. By way of this Cartez system, they were trying to extend their influence over the Arabian Sea. And if you see, the Portuguese played a very important role during the 16th and the 17th century in the Deccan. They broke the monopoly of the Arabs in trade, and they took control of the horse, spices, arms and ammunition trade. Okay, so it became a necessity for the Deccan powers like Bahmani and Vijayanagar kingdoms to maintain good relations with the Portuguese, because they were no match to the might of the Portuguese. Okay, so now let us concentrate and discuss about some prominent Portuguese influence structures in Goa. Okay, so if you see, here we go with the first structure. So this is the Basilica of Bom Jesus. Okay, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, Basilica of Bom Jesus is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this magnificent facade is something that catches our attention. Okay, it has intricate relief works, it has lavish interiors, and it vividly portrays the splendor and richness of the Portuguese colonial period. And another important thing about this Basilica of Bom Jesus is it contains the tomb of Saint Francis Xavier. You can even find his mortal remains here. Okay, so the mortal remains of Francis Xavier are exposed once in every 10 years. Okay, and this Francis Xavier, he came under the governorship of Martin Alfonso de Souza. Okay, and this Basilica of Bom Jesus is till today considered to be one of the 7 wonders of Portuguese origin in the world. Okay, and then the next one is the Say Cathedral. Okay, Say Cathedral. So you can find the Say Cathedral in Old Goa. Okay, it ranks among some of the largest churches in Asia. Okay, so it just showcases sheer architectural brilliance. So this was constructed in Portuguese Manuelan style. Okay, so this Manuelan style is all about blending Gothic, Renaissance and Portuguese design elements. Okay, and the next important structure that you will have to concentrate upon is Church of Saint Francis of Assisi. Okay, this is located in Old Goa, and then you will also have to know about this Fort Aguada. You would have seen this fort in many of the movies, famous movie songs. You would have seen this fort. So this is situated in North Goa. So this Portuguese fort, if you see, is a fusion of military and architectural prowess. Okay, so its imposing presence and strategic positioning basically underscores the defensive architectural concepts introduced by the Portuguese. And finally, we have the Fountain House, a picturesque locale in Goa. Okay, these are some of the important structures in Goa that you have to basically cover while you prepare about the Portuguese. And now, with regard to the Portuguese, we have to look at the Goa Liberation Movement and Operation Vijay. First, let's see what this Goa Liberation Movement is. Okay, so Goa started to witness an upsurge of national sentiment against colonial rule in the early 20th century. Okay, so here the national movement was completely different. Here people were not fighting against the British, in turn they were fighting against the Portuguese. So leaders such as Bragança Cunha, celebrated as the father of Goan nationalism. Remember the name? Tristão de Bragança Cunha. He is celebrated today as the father of Goan nationalism. So he was the one who founded the Goa National Congress and the Calcutta session of the Indian Congress in 1928. Okay, so in the Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress in 1928, this Goa National Congress was founded by Tristão de Bragança Cunha. So in the year 1946, the socialist leader Ram Manohar Lohia led a historic rally in Goa that gave a call for civil liberties and freedom and eventual integration with India, which became a watershed movement in Goa's freedom struggle. India attained its independence in 1947 from the British yoke, but Goans were yet to experience the breath of free air, at least 14 years after Indian independence. Okay, and then the next one that we are going to look at is Operation Vijay. Okay, so Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru ordered a military intervention for the liberation of Goa after all the diplomatic talks failed with the Portuguese. Okay, thereby he was forced to launch this Operation Vijay on the 17th of December 1961. There are two Operation Vijays in Indian military parlance. One is the liberation of Goa, the other one is during the Kargil War of 1999. Okay, so on 17th December 1961, Operation Vijay was launched by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to liberate Goa after all the major diplomatic talks with the Portuguese had failed. So the operation lasted for 2 days and was done with minimal bloodshed. So Major General K.P. Candid was appointed as the military governor of Goa, and it was kept directly under the administration of the President of India. So after Goa became a part of India, there was a referendum which was held in Goa in 1967. So this referendum was to let people of Goa choose between continuing as a union territory or to merge with Maharashtra. So this referendum, which is the only referendum to have been conducted in independent India, is famously known as Goa Opinion Poll. Okay, so people of Goa chose to continue as a union territory. Fine, so that's something very important that you have to keep in mind. So here, when you discuss about the Portuguese, it's very important to identify and know the various Portuguese settlements in India. Portuguese reigned supreme between the 16th and the 17th century. Okay, so you have to learn about the governors, the settlements. In fact, important figures that you're supposed to remember with regard to the Portuguese includes Vasco da Gama, then you have Francisco de Almeida, who introduced the blue water policy, and then you'll have to remember the Alfonso de Albuquerque, who captured Goa, and then Nino da Cunha is another governor you have to concentrate on. Sometimes a question is asked about the two Portuguese Jesuit priests who were invited by Emperor Akbar. That's another important thing that you're supposed to keep in mind. Okay, so these are the other allied areas about Portuguese that you're supposed to basically study. Okay, and not only about Portuguese, about the British, Dutch, Danish, French, their settlements, their governors, all these are pretty important from the examination point of view. Okay, so please keep an eye on all of them. So that's it from our discussion for the day. For aspirants taking up Prelims 2024, we have covered most of these topics in our Lakshya 2024 program. So you can go through them by following the link in the description. So for laying your hands on our Optima cards, you can contact the number in the bottom of the cards. Okay, and we run a current affairs session in the weekends. So for up-to-date knowledge on current developments, you can join our weekend sessions as well. For more such videos, please support us, like our videos, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.